Like, for instance, I know this is like, people always laugh when I tell the story, but fool me, for instance.
Yes.
Don't step on my shoes. Don't make me blow a fuse. I don't really got to dance, but I got them on a chance.
Yeah.
I was at a club the weekend before, and I had like a new petty, new shoes. You know, I was feeding myself.
Nice.
Someone stepped the heck out of me.
And
like,
you said,
toenail
I'm gonna make a song.
off. And I said, this? Yes, because like as ladies we know, doing a mani and a pedi and all of this stuff is not
It's not
cute.
cheap also.
And on top of
Don't
that,
be stepping
you
on
just
me.
stepped on my new pricey shoes. Are you proud of yourself? Like, really?
Yeah.
And then the next day, like, I heard this really dope beat, and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And I just couldn't. I looked at my toes. I looked down at my toes, and I was like, Yazin,
You could never fool me.
don't step on my shoes, damn it. Like,
I can't do no small talk, no small talk. I'm not with the small talk. Can't be with the small talk.
Welcome to 5 Unscripted, yet another fire episode coming your way because the guest that I've got with me is an absolute star. Kalibitso kina Boipelo Mooketsi, and I am your radio bae, and today I am chilling with none other than a huge star in the making. Her name is Nanette. Hello, Nanette.
hi, thank you for that intro. Hi,
Oh,
Boipelo. How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm super excited to have you here today.
Same.
And I kind of want us to unpack your entire like journey. I know it's not one that's like, 20 years strong and whatever, but you're going to get there obviously. But right now you are at, I would say, the beginning of greatness. Hopefully very close to like the peak, where everyone's just like, Nanette, look over here. So I want us to start from Nanette growing up. You are from Durban,
Yes.
KZN.
Yes.
Let's go back there. Growing up in Durban, KZN, what kind of kid were you growing up? Was music and singing always the thing for you?
It definitely was. Yes, I'd say that growing up, I was like a bit of a loner kid. Yeah, and I loved music and I loved movies because I stayed with my grandmother, and she was a nurse, so she would like, especially in the times she would work night shift, and even if she worked day shift, it would be quite long hours. So it would be like a lot of time I had alone, like after school or something, or like in the night. So I just fell in love with like movies and like music specifically. I remember like the first CD I listened to was Dance with My Father by Luther Vandross.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, and I was looking at the CD collection that 5FM has, because I was like, this literally looks like my CD rack at home. Like,
It's beautiful.
so nostalgic. Yeah. But yeah, I was a kid who loved, I wouldn't say like being out there, but I yearned for like community, I think, as a young child. And then the older I got, I just, I figured like I wanted to do something that would help me be like a part of a community, and I always just gravitated towards art. Like I always went back to art as a child. I started singing in church when I was 8 years old, and that ended up taking a lot of my time. Like I enjoyed knowing that like on Saturday I have something to do. Like I had to go to church.
You're practicing, girl.
Yes, I'm practicing for Sunday. Like I'm busy and I'm like 8 years old. But
Wow.
I was that child who always wanted to do something. I always enrolled in like 6 different things. Even if I didn't know how to do it, ngizofunda phambili. Like I learned there. Like even swimming, I registered for swimming. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't even swim. But come grade 7, I was swimming in the gala. Like
Beautiful. Period.
So I think that I don't know, how can I put it? I was a child who just always wanted to be on the go, always wanted to do stuff.
Yeah.
And I was also just like I was much more extroverted as a child, I'd say, but still very quiet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You had those you were like
I had
a
my moments.
extroverted introvert, or the
Yeah.
other way around, whichever way they say it. Yeah,
Yes.
you were that one.
Yes.
All right, cool. And then I want us to fast forward to 2020, which I think was kind of a symbolic year for you. Take us through why.
2020, the beginning of everything, the beginning of my career. It was my first year in Joburg, and it was like the first year of my official music career.
Yes,
and I was,
babe.
It was my first year of school as well. I was studying at Wits, I was navigating law, and it was all of our first year dealing with a global pandemic. So 2020 in many ways was so hectic for me. And then on top of that, I decided, hey, this is going to be the year where I work on an album. And at the time, I didn't have any motives or anything at the end of the album. I didn't even know if I was going to put the music out or how I was going to do it, all of that stuff. But I'd been working with Lee Global, who executive produced the album. And I remember in the beginning, Lee and Rich Mahag, Rich is actually who introduced me to Lee, were both Rich. They were both like, yo, you're gonna get signed from this. And I was like, nah, I'm starting out. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna drop this music, you know? And Lee was like, girl, I ain't out here making all this music for nothing. We gonna drop this. Beautiful. And I was like, okay, cool. And lo and behold, I ended up signed at Universal, and the project came out. And, people received it the way they did, and I was so grateful for that. So 2020 was a very pivotal year because it was the beginning of this journey that I'm still on. But like, it's been so crazy already. Yeah.
Now, you are signed to one of the biggest labels in the world, literally. Where are you when you get this call that it's happening? How are you feeling? Who was the first person you called?
Wow, the first person I called was my mom and my dad.
Oh, nice.
Nice. And then right after that, my manager. And then I remember it was literally like a DM. Like the first time I got, verification that like, okay, cool,
it's happening.
Like we want to sign you type thing. Like it was DJ Vigilante. He literally sent me a Twitter DM. It's like, yo, I've been scoping you on your socials for a while, and the singing stuff you put out on Twitter, and like all these little singles I'd been dropping on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
we want to sign you type thing. And I was like, oh, for Twitter DM.
Are you joking me?
It's a scam. It's a scam. So then I'm like, okay, cool. Do your Google, girl. And I'm like, no, this is very real. This is very, very real.
Oh my
and like,
word.
Yeah, we got into chat, and from there, like, it was
the
a
formal
final thing.
process
started.
Yeah.
And in 2021, I was officially signed.
Oh my word. Now you are signed. You are the superstar who is now literally at number 1 on charts. Like Spotify, YouTube, Apple. It's a lot that's happening in your life. You are working with the likes of Kelvin Momo. You two actually have 2 incredible tracks together that if you play them at any party, they will probably either make people dance or feel something or move something.
Yeah.
Right? How is it like processing all of that? Because that's like huge for it to happen also from 2020 to when it, was like at its peak is less than what, a year or 2?
Yeah.
That's hectic. How are you feeling at this point? How are you processing it?
I don't think I've fully processed it. I think every day is like a reminder that, hey, actually, this is your reality. Like, this is, wake up. Like, this is your reality, But I think it just feels so surreal. I'm so grateful because it's like, if you would have told me that would have been my life and the trajectory I was on at that point, if you would have told me like 3 years ago, like, or even in 2020 when I started out, if you would have told me about those Kelvin features and all of that stuff, I'd have been like, please, yeah, sure, okay, like, get out of here type thing. And I'm just very grateful that I also just decided to trust myself and trust my friends and trust Sun specifically, because I'm the type of artist who is very, I don't want to say closed off, but because I'm introverted, it takes a very long while for me to warm up to the idea of working with artists I don't know. So there's certain artists who, if they call me and they say, I need you to work with this person, I won't hesitate, because I know that person will never bring someone who I shouldn't be working with or wouldn't make sense for me to work with.
Absolutely.
So when I got the call from Sun to work with Kelvin, it was like at 11 at night. I'm like,
musicians, the music industry is crazy. Like, literally, you guys work the craziest hours. It's totally okay to just have a full-on business call at 11.
Literally.
Most of us are sleeping.
Literally.
Well, somewhat.
Industry don't sleep.
Yeah, it don't. It don't.
But and he was like, yo, I need you to work with this guy. He's like Kelvin Momo. And at the time I'm like, Kelvin Momo. And it's crazy because I knew the songs and I was a fan of Kelvin. You know, I go to groups, so like I'd
the
be
songs
singing
for sure.
to, you know, Song Cry, you know, all of that stuff. But I didn't put a face to it or like a name to it. And then I worked with him and it was so dope. Like it was so dope.
I can
and
imagine.
The songs come out and boom.
The whole of South Africa is like, what?
Who's this girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And you were also, you know, nominated as one of the top 10 African acts to look out for in 2023 for or from the Africa Report.
Shout out to the Africa Report.
I want you to kind of flex on us for a minute here. Why are they saying you are one of the 10 Africans? That's a continental
It's crazy
thing.
Yeah.
Why do you think you got that mention?
Wow. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to reflect on my success because I don't do this.
Yeah.
And it's
I need you to do that because I need you to
like
bask in your dopeness.
My heart is pounding. Like I feel so I've never actually
think about it. You can take a minute.
Okay, first I don't know if I give myself enough credit for it or if we as the people who made that album give ourselves enough credit for it. But for me to drop like my first album and I took the decision that a lot of artists don't take. You know, the normal artist trajectory is you drop a couple singles, you do the feature run, and then you know, come out with an album.
Yes.
I didn't do that. Like, I literally did a couple features with people, and then out of nowhere, boom.
Album.
I said, okay, here's my debut album.
Beautiful.
Read it and weep type thing.
Yes.
And it was a huge risk. I think a lot of people asked, are you sure you don't want to take a step back and like, you know, do it the proper way? And I was like, I don't want to do anything proper. Okay, as long as
this
the music is good, let's go.
Yeah.
Type thing. And then it debuted number 10 on the Apple Music charts in Africa. And I was like, okay, wow, cool. You know, and it wasn't like an album that was, you know, had a lot of visuals or anything like that. It was purely just good music.
Yeah.
And I'd say that I've managed to keep a consistent standard of good music. And so I guess that's why a platform like the Africa Report would, you know, consider me as one of the artists to look out for in 2023. Also because I pay attention to my work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love to pay attention to my work and I really love to pay attention to my sound. And I'm also very disciplined with my sound.
Love it.
I try not to be hard to work with. Like, I try not to be hard to work with, but I have my bad days.
Yeah.
And I have my moody days. But, like, I just always try to come from a point of, let's just get work done on a respectful. Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say on a respectable basis. On a respectful basis. Yes.
Okay, cool. I love that. And also you just like a cut above the rest because at such an early stage of your industry, you got to work with Kelvin Momo is a giant in the industry,
like,
you know, and for you to be on the vocals of 2 of his leading singles from that Amukelane album is huge. So, man, take your flowers, girl. I know they're not here, but I'm just here to give you your flowers.
Thank you so much for these lovely roses.
Now, do you write all your music yourself?
I do write all my music myself, yes.
Okay.
There's some songs that were like, it was like a collaboration effort, but I am involved in all of my songs and I write like 95.97% of my songs.
Okay, and when you're writing, where is your heart? Where is your mind? Is it dependent on what you're going through? Like, what kind of a writer are you when you create the songs that you create?
It depends. I think in the beginning I was writing a lot for my own self-therapy, and I was writing a lot to like deal with things I wanted to deal with in the time, what I was going through or whatever. And then the more I started like getting comfortable being an artist and the more I started figuring out who I am as an artist was the more I started tapping into writing more from an element of what do I want to say to people? What do I feel like people need to hear? Which then correlates with what I'm going through. So a lot of songs might relate to what I'm going through, but there's also just a bigger message that everyone ends up falling in love with type thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, for instance, I know this is like, people always laugh when I tell the story, but fool me, for instance.
Yes.
Don't step on my shoes. Don't make me blow a fuse. I don't really got to dance, but I got them on a trance.
Yeah.
I was at a club the weekend before, and I had like a new petty, new shoes. You know, I was feeling myself.
Nice.
Someone stepped the heck out of me.
And
like,
you said,
toenail
I'm going to make a song.
off. And I said, this... Yes, because like as ladies we know, doing a mani and a pedi and all of this stuff is not
It's not
cute.
cheap also.
And on top of
Don't
that,
be stepping
you
on
just
me.
stepped on my new pricey shoes. Are you proud of yourself? Like, really?
Yeah.
And then the next day, like, I heard this really dope beat and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And I just couldn't. I looked at my toes. I looked down at my toes and I was like, Yazid.
You could never fool me.
Don't step on my shoes, damn it. Like, so people always think, oh, the song is like about, I see the way you look at me, like, yeah, like look into my... No,
Wow.
it's about how that person then tried to look at me like the victim.
Wow. And you're
After
like, sorry, you stepped on me.
Now, if you want to take that seriously, think about how when someone's done you wrong and then like they want to turn around and be the victim. But they can never fool you.
Exactly.
Because they look at you with eyes of deceit.
Man,
But yeah,
ambiguous.
please leave my toes alone. Even now, I've got a toe injury because when I was hosting in Cape Town, the amount of people who trampled on me.
Oh my word. Oh my word.
Like,
and the thing is, when you've got a fresh pedicure, you're trying to show your toes. You're wearing sandals, okay?
I don't know.
You're not
Maybe
trying
I'm
to be
the problem. Yeah.
No, babe. It's
Maybe
hot
I'm
girl
the problem.
summer.
Maybe my
okay?
toes are too long because I don't even know how people's feet are getting
Not
to
your
my toes.
Not your toes.
You're not
being long.
trampling on other people's toes, but you're trampling on mine.
Oh my word. Amazing,
yeah.
man. All right, cool. Which brings me to your offering for this year with Blxckie. Take us through that track because I don't want to lie to you. On my playlist, whether I'm coming to work, going home, going to the shop, it has to play. Take us through that song because Sana, it's a fave of mine.
It's a banger.
You wrote that one too?
Yeah. Me and Blxckie wrote the song. He wrote,
Together?
Yeah. We wrote
Okay.
the hook together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What is it all about? Let's break it down firstly. Talk to me, by the way. Talk to me.
Yeah. Talk to me.
Yes.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
Pun
yeah.
intended.
Okay.
Talk to me about it.
We're at Universal. It's a songwriting camp, and it was actually the first time I was working with Blxckie. And so I was like, it was one of those camps where there's several studios and you can just like find your vibe. So I just finished a vibe there, and I was like, okay, let me just go find the next vibe. And I won't lie, in that period of my life, like I wasn't really like hyped up about being an artist or anything like that. I was just moseying
Living
along.
life.
Like I was like, girl, I wanted to say this 9 to 5 ain't doing it, but it wasn't even a 9 to 5. It was a 6 to 12. Like,
oh my word.
so it was like, this ain't even doing it no more, but it's fine. Then I walk into the room and Blxckie's working on the song, and he was working with Bangers. He's a producer from France. And like I'm vibing with it, but I'm like, okay, shoot, like he's already writing, like he's already got a vibe laced down, so I don't want to intrude or anything. So then I'm about to walk out, and then Tabi saw my A&R, was like, Wenzan, get back in that room. I put you there for a reason. I'm like, but he's already working on it. And he's like, yeah, so jump on the song.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Get into it, girl.
Like stop being shy. And I'm like, okay. And the crazy thing is, like, I know Blxckie personally and all that stuff, but I feel like it's just different. It's different when like you're coming from a let's now work together.
Yeah.
Like as an artist, I never want to impose on other artists to work with them or like to work with me type thing. I feel like it has to happen naturally.
Organically,
and we have to both want to work with each other for, the music to be natural.
Yeah.
And so I'm vibing with it and stuff. And then I'm like, yo, can I help you, like, write maybe like some of the hook? What do you have? So we're working on it.
So, yeah.
And then, I like build my hook around that hook that he had, the talk to me, call for me when you are alone. And then, he laces his vibe, and then I lace my stuff. And then we listen to it when the song is done, and we're like,
we got one. I think we got one.
Yeah, we got, and it was so crazy. Like on the last night of the camp, they were playing like songs that they selected, like the best songs that they selected from the camp that we made, and the director of the Grammy Museum was there, Nandi Madida was there. Like it was just such nice people, and obviously all the artists. And we didn't know which songs were selected, so I'm just like outside, like, oh, it's so cold, I want to go home now, like, oh my gosh. And then it starts playing. I'm like,
That's us.
Yeah. And then after the camp is done, it was now time to decide what are we gonna do with the song. And Blxckie actually was like, "Yo, like I feel like you can actually drop the song." And I was like, "Ready?" Because I did want to drop the song. Like I want to drop the song. And he was like, "Yeah, bro, drop it." Like, and I was like, "Shut out!" And then the song came out.
And how's it been received? How have you how have your fans and your followers, supporters received this track with Blxckie?
So well, and it's done better than I expected it to, I think. And it's still about to do better, you know. I think that the nice thing about the music is once it's out, and it can never decline. Like it can only, you know, and it's such a timeless song. So I'm genuinely not worried about, you know, first week what's and first month what's. As long as the music is good and it's timeless. Yeah. Like, you know, there's people who are still eating from their catalogs in 1998.
Yes.
Because the music is good, and you know, good music also does take time to, you know, pick up to the right ears. Like it takes time to travel, but once it's traveled, it stays there. Like exactly. So I'm just letting my music travel right now.
All right, cool. And traveling, it surely is. Let's get into career highlights. What has been that moment where you were like, "Oh my word, pinch me"? I know you've spoken about Universal. That would have been a pinch me moment for me, but I mean, you know you best and your journey best. What was that moment that made you feel like, wow, I'm here?
One of them was recently. I feel like I'm still gonna have the career moments I think I'm gonna have. But like, one of them was really recently it was my first one-man show at Untitled Basement, and it was like an intimate audience of people who, you know, arrived, including my dad. Shout out to my dad.
Hey, shout out to Dad.
And it was so like, I don't know how I actually carried on that performance without crying. Like I even told the audience, I don't know how I didn't cry, because like they knew every word.
Beautiful.
Off by heart for every song. Like songs I didn't even think they would know. Like there were people who knew that. And I was just like, that's all I needed. I needed to know that someone's listening. Yeah. Like beyond just, you know, seeing the numbers on a screen is, yeah, sure, but it ends up adding to a diluted sense of the actual reality. Yeah. And like so beautiful to be able to see the people live, like connect with you, come and tell you their stories about a specific song and how it changed their life or how like they relate to it. I never thought, you know, I could do that. I'm like, I'm just a small little girl from Sydney who just is making music. What do you mean? Type thing. Yeah. But yeah, that was a career highlight. Going number 1 on all of the charts was also a career highlight with Fool Me. Period. Yeah, that was a crazy moment. Drake's radio station posting my song was a career highlight. Yeah. OVO radio. Black Coffee was listening to Imvula. Like, man. I made a tweet the other day and I said, you know what? Even if like I'm sitting in a room of people who don't know me, and it's happened so many times, like I'll be in a room and it's full of people who don't know me, like they wouldn't know me, and then like one of my songs, like Fool Me or Impula, comes on and they all like just vibing, and you're just like, and I just get to do this crowd survey, like none of you know it's me. Yes, I love that feeling. Like, oh, nice. Sometimes I'll even be walking like in CBD or walking somewhere, and I'll be like, yo, none of these people know who I am. Like, in 10 years, they're going to know who I am. That's crazy. Like, okay, cool.
So now we're working towards that 10 years. Yes. And speaking of that, before we started recording, you were like, okay, I am on a 5FM platform. This is like a big deal. Like something I can go and tick off my notes or list of goals. What is on your list of goals, and like what fuels you? What keeps you going? Is it the list itself?
It is. I feel like I've designed the life I want. Like I know where I want to be. I know, you know, what I want to have. Like I know what I like. Like I've taken the time to really study myself and allow myself to continue to grow. Yeah. To be able to achieve that goal, you know. And the goal is, it's everything. It's the cars I like. It's the houses I want.
It's the features you want. I'm
literally
sure.
Yes, there's a feature one, and it's got different countries, like from all the different countries and all the different nationalities I want to feature, you know. It's literally like the type of business ventures I want to go into. I also write scripts and I also act. So it's the type of movies or the type of scripts and stories I'm trying to work on, the types of projects I'm trying to produce, the types of projects I'm trying to direct. It's such an extensive list. And then it's all the types of awards that I'd love to win one day. I even know which artist I want to do tributes for.
My word.
Like it's down to the T.
Ma'am, you are very focused.
I know what I'm wearing to my first Grammys.
Wow.
And it can't change.
Wow. Even if your fashion sense changes.
Yes.
Okay. You stick
it will
into the
still
list.
be that thing.
Love it.
That, like I'm still going to be wearing that. Maybe like the designer will change or whatever. But what I want and the color
is what
set.
you want.
You guys will see at the Grammys.
Oh, yes. I love this energy. That's the power of like writing things down and visualizing it and seeing it, because now you know where you're trying to go, you know? So shout out to you for doing that, man.
Thank
I
you
am
very
so
much.
like, I'm excited for your journey.
I'm excited
For your journey. Okay, cool. So what is next? You said, you know, in the next 10 years, people will know you. What's next for you right now? We're reaching the end of 2023. Any gigs lined up for the festive season? Any plans for like the new year? Or you kind of just letting everything play itself out for now?
So what's coming is a new EP.
Okay.
There is new music coming. A
That's
new
what I wanted
character
to hear. I don't
and
wanna
everything.
lie.
Guys, don't see there is a wig to be installed, but you know, a girl has to just like a girl has to chill and lay back sometimes.
Okay.
You know? Like this, also the skin needs to like relax,
Breathe.
you know.
Yeah.
You see how beautiful our skin is, we let our skin breathe. Don't just
girl.
put makeup on your don't put makeup on your face every day, please. So yeah, there's a new character coming. I'm currently, you know, Electra with the orange hair. It's like a very, how could I say, very powerful vibe and very confident vibe, which contradicts, I guess, who I've been my whole life. You know, I'm trying to step into, I guess, my alter ego and sort of let my supporters step into that alter ego with me.
Beautiful.
So definitely music, some visuals, you know. There's definitely going to be more gigs coming, more one-man shows where we can, you know, connect and sing the songs together. Yeah, I think it's the start of something beautiful, and I think that this project is going to open a lot of doors for Nanette.
Oh man, love it. If you could go back to that 8-year-old Nanette who was a church going girl, always going to choir practice, always, you know, on it, feeling like I've got something to do at 8 years old. What would you tell her? What would you tell her?
Oh, no, don't overextend yourself. I'm only learning it now. Like, I'm only learning now to know my limits.
Yeah.
Like, to not over push myself, because I was that child who just took so much on. I was always either burnt out, or I was always overwhelmed, or I was always, you know, something.
Anxious.
Yeah. So it's only now in my adult years that I'm learning, and I wish I could have told that little girl, you don't have to do it all. You can ask for help. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help. It's not like, you know, a measure of your competency or anything like that. Like, it's okay. Just don't overextend yourself and rest.
Yes.
Rest. Yo, I'm a rester now. Like, I rest. Like, people, like, someone was shocked the other day because they were like, so what do you do in your free time? Like, when you don't have any work and everything is done? I'm like, I sleep.
Yeah.
They're
I
like,
do nothing.
So you can just sleep, Nanette, at 2. Yes.
110%.
With the sun up right in the sky, I will still fall asleep, curtains open, everything. I will rest.
Yes, as you should, because you're the same person who can be at a gig in the AMs, you know, showing up, getting the bag, performing or hosting. So
and then catch a 7 a.m. flight, like, type thing.
You understand? Be in makeup, you're in between venues, ma'am, please rest. Yeah,
you have to rest.
It actually reminds me of a tweet that I saw today, actually. And it said, the switch from girl boss to I'm just a girl was so discreet and potent. And someone retweeted that and said, it's a coming of age story, wanting to be a girl boss in your early 20s, giving it your all, burning out, and then realizing the true value of life, and then redesigning your life to be as easy and happy as possible is a natural cycle of modern womanhood.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you just reminded me of that now when you said that. And I love that for you.
Thank you.
I love that. Definitely don't take resting for granted, please. Please, ma'am.
It's also the secret to good skin. Like people ask you what's the secret. Go sleep.
Like I sleep, eh?
Go sleep, drink some water.
I was about to say that too.
And eat some fruits.
Yes.
Your skin will shine.
I love it. For all our viewers and listeners, where do we find you on the socials? How do we keep up to date with everything that you're up to?
So on Instagram, I am at officially Nanette. My name is spelled Nanette. On Twitter, I'm at official Nanette. On TikTok, officially Nanette. And on Facebook, I'm just Nanette.
Alrighty. Nanette, all of the very best. Go and install your inches now, my dear. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Booking. Yo, the wig. The wig. Ow. I want more wigs. Book me.
Yeah, no. And you won't be disappointed, eh?
Yo.
Never that.
Never. Never. I'll sing. One thing I'll do is sing.
Do you want to close us out by singing just a chorus of maybe Don't Fool Me or Talk to Me or something? Just if you want to.
Talk to me, I've been so alone. I'm impatient, but I'm waiting, baby. Soon as you get home, no more playing. Things are changing, yeah.
Woo.
Talk to me, let me know. Talk to me, let me know. Talk to me, let me know where we gonna go. Go, baby.
Me, I don't have words. Just thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I love you so much. Wow.
I love you. You made my dream come true.
Goosebumps. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. I think that's the best closing Unscripted has ever had. So, yeah, on that note, bye-bye. Thank you, Nanette, for coming through. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, you too.
And you are amazing.
Thank you so much.
Till the next 5 Unscripted, we are out of here. Bye-bye.
This is 5 FM.